But Disneyland was about the same experience. Horrible, mind-numbing. My mind feels like when I get around places like that, these amusement parks, when the kids were young, it was like so hard for me to deal with that. People think that when you have children, you have to like act extra normal. That's what drives children into drugs. When you try to conform to some hallmark card of what you should do with your children, that's when a child reaches for drugs. I mean, try to lead the life that you want to lead with kids. You know, let them tag along. Don't do what's good for them necessarily because they're going to hate it as much as you do. You ever see children on vacations with their parents? They're bored out of their minds. I'm talking about after they're like infants. What does an infant know? And a young child, whatever you do is fine. There's nothing more depressing than seeing a couple, let's say, like the hardest age to take kids on a vacation is like, let's say, the girl is 12 already, and she's just at that point where, okay, and then the boy is maybe 14. He's already been on the internet too long, in the locked bay. And so you take them on vacation. It's like taking along an adult couple who you detest, and you're paying the bill, and they don't want to talk to you over dinner. They don't want to be with you. You ever see them like in the hotels around the world, like in Hawaii? The 12 and 14-year-old kid and the couple. Hey, we're having a good time. You would like another macadamia nut sundae? Dad, please, you know. The girl's already looking at the bus boy, and the boy's looking at the bus girl, and they don't want to be there. They wish their parents gone without. So having a couple with you, and they don't talk to you, and you're paying the bill. The whole flight home, everyone's like, depressed on the plane. That's two-week vacation. I had to take a painting when the kids were young. It got so bad. I was on such the precipice of the hotel balcony. I went and got a watercolor set. I still have those pictures somewhere. I bet you they bring a lot of money today if I auction them off. Some of them were quite good. One was a picture of a car. I remember that to this day. I did a watercolor of an automobile without wheels, with two adults and two children going nowhere, with a little island in the middle of it. That's quite an interesting picture when you think about it. Because you always rent the car. Oh, now what? Let's go on the H1 freeway and see the traffic. Then let's go to a Porky Boy diner and see the hostile locals. It's unbelievable. I love they used to drive Dodge Chargers and eat double cheeseburgers and hate the Howley. I knew it was time to get out of there. Everything they took was from the Howley, and everything they hated was from the Howley. Forget about it. That's why I came here to wonderful San Francisco, the land of freedom. Yeah, huh? You hear the chains rattling as they beat each other with them. So I got calls. I don't know. None of them appealed to me. Nobody. No one heard a word I said yet today. Let's see. I'm going to read like a Rich in New York life in the 40s versus today. I can't deal with that. I don't think anyone wants to hear about his Uncle Murray wearing a brown suit. You know, okay, so kill that one. Maryland, happiness versus middle of the road. I don't know. Savage advice of perfect food from Canada. What do I know? Perfect food. I eat spaghetti 10 times a week. Is that a perfect food? I'm still living. You can give me spaghetti 3 times a day and I'll eat it. It's white bread that's no good for me. Gluten? Now everyone's with the gluten. Every few years there's another discovery as to why people were overweight and tired. And it works for a while until eventually you realize that as you get older, you get overweight and tired. They all want a miracle cure. They all discover it. Oh, yes, your problem is that you have a leaky gut and you have a celiac. Whoa. Okay, that's sure if you cut down on wheat and you're going to lose a little weight if you stop eating bread. There's no question about it. We knew about that 50 years ago. Look at the beekeepers of Somalia. I mean, they're in pretty good shape. They live on, like, pollen, you know, and whatever else. Of course they're thin because they're starving to death. My mother had a different theory about men. Stuff them, and stuff them again. That's how they placated the men in those days. Ethnic mothers all did that. They understood men were basically dangerous animals that could yell. In those days, some of them could hit. My father didn't, but some did. Violent, loud, they smelled. So the best way to control them was feeding them. Like a zoo. Oh, whenever the guy got up, here, eat something. Whenever he was hungry or not, they made delicious food, and the guy ate it. And by that time, he was so, sluggish from the food, he was sated, and he slowed down. And there was less danger of a blow-up in the house if the guy was stuffed. Then they died at 40, 45 of a heart attack. If they were lucky, they went to 57, whatever. And the women lived another 25 years on the money that was left over in the house. It was a deal. They worked it out. She suffered the whole life from this bum, and then lived on a little bit money at the end, and that was the whole story. They had a whole workout. Today, it's not like that anymore. Today with the Viagra and God knows what else, the guy thinks, oh, yeah, he wants a 20-year-old wife at 72. What do I know what people are going to get?